All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the lovely, beloved Peloton instructor, Kendall Toole.
Hi,
Welcome
you guys
to the
for
show,
having
Kendall.
Me. I'm so excited.
So we're excited to have you. We met you years ago at like a workout class a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And then I don't know what happened. I mean, I bought my parents a Peloton like, I don't know, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I started seeing you on there. And then you just blew up on TikTok. Like I would go on my TikTok and I would just see video after video of you. And I'm like, oh my God, the people are obsessed with Kendall. And I remember meeting you. I'm like, I met her. I know her. We know her.
We went out with her. I know. I remember when you guys took class.
Yeah. I was like, we follow each other on Instagram. And I'm like, she is all over TikTok. How does that feel? People are obsessed with you.
It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's one of those things. I find myself very annoying, and I'm shocked. I think people do too, and they're kind of laughing at it. I think that's part of what it is. But I said something really, really dumb. Because sometimes we say things we don't have filters,
absolutely.
right?
All the time.
And somebody took that clip of it and it kind of went really viral very fast to the point that like even my brother would go to work and they're like, is your sister the girl that said? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd call me, he's like, what the hell, Kendall? I was like, sorry, it just came out. But
can you explain like the cold brew thing to me? Like, is that what that was about?
It was about the cold brew. So I, believe it or not, I don't like coffee. Like I have iced tea in there. Yeah. That is it. I drink unsweetened iced tea.
We love iced tea.
Thank you. I love iced tea. Like I went to the South recently and they're like, you don't want sugar? I'm like, ew, why? No, that's disgusting. So I always drink
unsweetened iced tea with some lemon.
Or like the passion fruit flavor where it's got that tropical little infusion.
Any sort of little, maybe a little raspberry.
Yeah.
Delish.
A little, love it. And so I just took cold brew before my classes. I think it was like a nervous tick. So I was like, I need something to like jolt me up. And we teach a lot. I know you guys had Cody on here. We're always like, I taught 3 classes yesterday. 2 people, 1 recorded after, had a bunch of meetings. I'm tired and I'm getting older, not like older, but I'm like 30 hit. And so I was like, I need something to jolt me up. And so I take we have these little cold brews at work and I'm like, whatever, a little swig of it. That day, I think I got pressured because clearly I'm an adult and get peer pressured by the people in the crowd. And they were like, chug, chug, chug. So I chugged this probably 16 ounces of cold brew.
Yeah.
Didn't even think anything of it. That hit so hard. I mean, that was like full energy drink times 5. And then things came out of my mouth. I was like, no.
Yeah. Not to like make it gross, but like that could literally make you like shit your pants. Like,
I'm a lucky person.
Pretty quick.
I know. That's what people say. They're like, how do you not have stomach issues? And I was like, well, first off, I don't eat before I teach.
It was coming out of your mouth.
It was,
that's what was happening.
I was shitting the wrong end.
Yeah, a word vomit was coming out. But no, people love you. They love your energy. People I know, they love you because they love your music choices that you I'm not a big like cycler. Is that what it's called?
It's all
cycler,
whatever you want to call
whatever
it.
Whatever it is. But like I said, I got my parents a Peloton for Christmas a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And the classes that I do take if I'm home and I jump on the bike, I go to you.
Yeah, my boyfriend's also a big Kendall guy. We have one in our apartment.
That's what's so funny when people tell me that. I'm like, listen, let me yell at them for you. Like, if you're pissed at him, have him take a metal ride. I am absolutely evil. And then it's handled. Like, I'm here to help.
Yeah. He'll be like, I'm hanging out with Kendall. I'm like, okay.
You're like, okay, babe, have fun with that. I'm sure she knows. Yeah.
What inspires your music choices? Because I feel like that's like what I hear about besides your great energy and personality. People are like, I love the music she plays, gets us through the class.
It's honestly just like, what do I want to ride to? And frankly, I never really taught cycling before this. You guys know I taught boxing before. Like that's really my forte. So if I'm going to be clipped into a machine and not going anywhere, I need something to keep the motor up. Like there's no way I could just cycle to something boring. So yeah, it's always finding new music, finding new mixes. I'm a big hip hop girl.
Same.
I'm a big rock girl.
Yep.
I love EDM. I kind of love everything. So when you find those good
That's how I am
crossovers.
besides country. It's like,
I can change you. I can get you on the country chain. I promise. It's different now.
It's been tried before.
Really?
Kendall.
I am determined I could do it.
I like
what is it?
like country rock because I like rock.
Like Hardy. Do you like Hardy?
I love Hardy. Hardy's a good friend.
Love Hardy.
So I think I'm also biased because of that.
Yeah.
Because he's a friend. But I love like he's more like rock. Like
he is. He's got the country like the southern
the base
rock.
of it. But yes.
Somebody just did a country pop.
It might
Do
be
you ever
me.
do country pop?
I just started doing country pop because
Okay, so
of
then
people, like,
honestly,
because I was very
probably was-
anti-country for a
So
long
it probably
time.
was you
You got
because I know
converted.
like
I got converted.
my friends in our group chat will send rides that we really like to
Yeah.
each other, and then it had to have been you because my friend
wonder.
was like, they love like the country pop, because especially like the more like Shania type vibe, and that is fun. Do you like the country pop?
You can get in a good mood with it. Yeah, like Kane
Yeah.
Brown is really good crossover.
Yeah.
He's got like hip hop influence there.
Yeah.
I'm interested. No.
She was like, no.
I'm like, listen, I walked in.
I hear you. I don't see you.
I'm listening, but I walked into a workout class the other day and they were playing music like before the class started, and it was country music. And I texted my boyfriend and I was like, if this is a country class, I'm leaving.
I'm literally
I was like,
shutting
I'm
up.
literally walking out.
I will eat
and
this
then
price.
The music started playing and it was totally opposite. It was like all hip hop, and I was like, they have to warn somebody if they're gonna do like a strictly country class. I got to be warned about that. But what I want to know is, and I've never even having Cody on, I feel like I never even asked him this question.
Yeah.
But when you say you're teaching a class, like, can you go through the different classes that you teach? Because obviously you are recording some for Peloton app.
Yeah.
You are teaching some in person, I assume. Like, what is your schedule?
Live ones.
Yeah.
So
everything for the most part is live. So the majority of my schedule, we teach live, and it is broadcast all over the world to whoever has a bike or whoever has the app available. You can watch everything on an app. Like, life hack. You can always, I don't know if they're going to get mad at me for saying this, but like, you can have the app and, get on a machine.
You see
and
all the
have,
classes.
You get everything. Like, there's no gatekeeping.
Yeah.
But definitely what's kind of wild about it is everything is live. So if I say something, as we know, if I don't, it's all there. Yes, we do have a delay where we could kind of edit it, maybe, not really. And then I record classes as well. And so sometimes, ever since the pandemic kind of eased out, we invited people back into class, which that's like a whole thing. You guys have to come.
I would love to come. Yeah. I would totally
take
come.
You have, okay.
I'm
Maria's got like no vibe about it. She's like, nah. It's fine. You can say no. I'm not gonna push it too hard.
I would love to come to a class in person with you. I
It's
am
fun.
not a
You
great
would like
it.
cycler.
Oh, I
No,
don't
but you
care.
would like, but Kendall's is
I
You can
just
sit on the
said
bike the
I
whole
used to
time.
do
I know.
I have done them before.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I am not. That's not
That's
my
not
like
your
what
MO.
where I
Yeah.
thrive. But I would do
Yeah.
it for you, Kendall.
Oh, well, okay, great. But I'm going to hold you guys to it. It'll be
I'd
fun.
love to, yeah.
It's fun because it's a really wild room. There's also like a lot of the groups of people that ride Peloton are super, super into it. As I'm sure, especially people's parents.
Yeah.
A lot of people's parents are into it.
Yeah.
But
my sister's a dedicated Peloton fan.
I love it. How old is she?
She's 31.
Yeah, I feel like that's like our sweet spot. But I'm like, hey, like we have cool younger people.
My sister's cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
31's not old.
No, it's not at all. No, I
Yeah.
know, totally. It's just interesting where people are like, oh, my parents do that. And I'm like, yeah, there's actually fun stuff on it, especially half the stuff that comes out of Cody's mouth. Oh my gosh, I don't know how he gets away with it, truly. I'm like, dude, you have the golden ticket hall pass to say whatever you want to say.
But
But
it's
it's
Cody
Cody.
just established it early. Like
He did.
because
That was
when you
him.
establish
Yeah.
it early. That's then people expect you, instead of like years later you start to throw crazy stuff out there like, oh, who is this person? It's
Like,
like
they're changing their
no,
brand now.
I've been doing it from the beginning, and then when you say that, people are like, oh, he's always been like that.
Oh no, that is him. That is absolutely, and like even more so off the bike, which I love.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Exactly.
we have the live classes. Everything that we teach is pretty much live. Then we'll record a couple things in a row. And then sometimes now at this point, I'd say probably about like 40% of what I teach is with people in the room. So that's
nice.
where, it's really
So
fun.
do you like when there's people in the room?
I do. It's just a lot of energy because like I'm hyping them up at the beginning.
Right.
You're holding that space. Then we go live. Then you're teaching a class. And for example, yesterday we taught 2 back-to-back classes with people in the room. So we have like a 10-minute turnaround between the classes.
Yeah.
We don't have like an MC or a hype person. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
like
you thrive off
around.
each other.
Yeah, you're just really like, you're in it. And then we have about probably 45 minutes to an hour of meeting everybody who was in the class after.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we meet everybody, which is really fun. And you hear their life stories and take photos.
That's awesome. So is it really hard to come to a live class with you guys? Because I mean, people,
It's hard. It's very hard to get into that room.
right? You guys are like very famous now. You like people.
I like cringe at that thought, but
I know.
yeah, it's weird.
I feel like even saying it to you, you're probably like, stop. But like at the same time, it is true. Like people really are dedicated to you guys. They, it feels like you're their friend that's also helping them at the same time. Do you get a lot of people like obviously on the street? They're like, oh my God, Kendall.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Airports are especially pretty funny.
Yeah.
And they have that moment. I was in Texas. You guys will laugh at this. I played cornhole for public broadcast on ESPN the other day. It didn't go too hot, but it's like we had a lot of fun, y'all. We had a lot of fun. It was great. The food was great. But even going through the airport or walking around in places people don't think that they'd see you, there's this, oh my gosh. And they're like, oh, I've ridden with you for a year and you got me through this, which is so sweet. But it's kind of funny because they know you really well because I'm teaching almost every single day. Like my life, I just share with them because what else am I going to talk about?
It's almost like having a podcast as you.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably similar for you guys. People probably come up and are like, oh my gosh, like when you talked about this, all of that. And you're like, you have a relationship with me, but I don't have a relationship with you. And I want to make sure I make you feel good, but I feel kind of awkward. Yeah.
They almost feel like you're a video game character in some aspect.
Yes. Yeah. You're like this archetype. And then you almost feel pressure like, I hope I'm not like letting down this vision you have of me in your head.
I am in person.
Yeah. Here I am. Yeah.
What was your journey to Peloton? Because like we said, obviously with like the boxing background, what pulls you to Peloton?
When I tell you I did not ever plan to be in fitness, I mean, I never planned. I went to film school at SC. I cheered at SC, graduated, thought I was going to go like film production route. That's what I wanted to do. Was working on film sets, ended up working for this big startup that I'm not going to name, but it wasn't the best culture. Got out of there and then had to figure it out. I was super broke. Like I was living in a friend's barely basement in Laurel Canyon. I'm not joking. Like the ceiling was maybe 6 feet tall, and thank goodness I'm like 5 foot nothing. So I could fit. It was my little hobbit home, and I lived in there and would go and teach classes at the studio you guys met me at, the one that we opened in LA, and was thinking, I don't know how long I can do this. I don't know what's going to happen with my life. I feel like I'm meant to do something else. And then Peloton slid into my DMs.
Wow.
Asking me to audition. And I was like, well, I'm broke as hell. Yeah, of course I will go to New York for free and audition for something.
Yeah.
And then Cody kind of helped me with the audition process. He like helped me figure out, I'd never taught a cycling class in my life because I wasn't a cycling girly. So I get it. And I was like, whatever, let's see what happens. And then the audition went really well, went through the interview process. And then, let's see, I landed, it was Memorial Day weekend, so upcoming. Goodness, it'll be 4 years. Ugh, 4 years of this, 4 years ago.
So cool.
But that's awesome. I remember. I mean, I followed you on Instagram like way back when we met you, and I remember you making that transition, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like, good for her. That's awesome.
Thanks.
So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
it does
who knew
feel
that
like
it would
hitting
happen?
the fitness like lottery, right?
Oh, totally.
Like it's like
I'm like, well, that's about as. That's about as big as it gets. I guess. I'm like, well, I'm at the top of the mountain here.
Yeah,
but
so cool.
It's amazing. And what happened over pandemic was nuts. How big it got. Yeah, that was shocking.
You can do a lot at home.
Yeah.
And now so many avenues have opened up for you with having this spot. What do you use this platform the most now? I know that you're a big mental health advocate.
Yeah.
And you want to talk a little bit about how it's Mental Health Awareness Month here. And I feel like you use that in Peloton, and so many people come up to you and say that fitness does help that.
It does. It really does. I think a big thing for me was I was on this platform and I was doing it for about a year. I don't know. When people have a perception of you of, okay, she's this chick from California, she's fake blonde, but she's really bubbly, whatever. And it was like I didn't have any problems. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, like I've dealt with anxiety and depression my whole life. I really had a tough bout with it really hard in college, particularly senior year. And it's always been something I've been dealing with. And so I was like, I kind of felt like a fraud in a lot of ways, like big imposter syndrome. Yeah. Okay, everybody thinks that I'm on this little pedestal and everything's perfect. And I'm like, behind the scenes, so much else always goes on. So I kind of just started over pandemic. Maybe it was also being locked in my studio apartment at the time, as it was for a lot of us. I was like, let me just talk about this. So I started talking on Instagram about having anxiety and depression, about dealing with mental health. And that started opening up. I was like, wait, there's something here. Like, I want to start talking about this. It's really freeing. It's connecting to other people. And then actually this will be the 3rd year that we're doing mental health awareness classes. So mine dropped yesterday on the platform, which is awesome. They're like an emotional journey. It's a physical journey, emotional journey, but it's really cool to help kind of create that space where we have to talk about these things, and it's normal, and it's awkward and weird and weirdly funny sometimes. And so trying to normalize that, I think, is really important.
Right, absolutely. And there, like I said, so many people relate to that, and they feel so comfortable having somebody like you that they look up to, and they see, like you said, this person from California, beautiful, looks like it has it all.
They're gonna make me like
everyone
melt into my chair.
No, why?
No, I appreciate that so much, but it still throws me off.
But it's just like one of those things where you're like, wow, I can relate to this person.
Totally. Yeah. And we go through it.
No, I agree. I mean, I felt this same way. You always feel comfortable when you hear somebody that has like a similar story, similar vibe. Like we both did not finish college, but we were both here when that happened. But, you know, like for me personally, my freshman year of school was god awful, but I was the same kind of way. No one knew. I didn't tell anyone. I hid it from everybody, hid it from my family. And it was like, now looking back, I was like, that was like a full-blown depression that I did not really know what was happening to me. And post getting out of it, and like I left school, I went to different schools, and then I ended up not finishing, and we're here, which, you know, it worked out in the best possible way ever.
It all works out.
For all of us. Exactly. It always works out. But you do feel like that outside noise when those things are happening. Like, what are people saying about me? What are they talking about? They have this idea of who I am, and it's not really who I am. So it's very nice to like hear you talking about all that stuff too, because there's so many, I think, young people who feel like they have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Totally.
And also to the point of like you said, where you may be going through that, but at the time you don't know that's what it is. You don't know that it's anxiety. You don't know that it's depression. And then once you come out of it, you go, wow, I was really dealing with something there. And now I have the answers, and now I can sort of work through that after it has passed. But like, what did that do to me during it? And once you hear somebody talk about it, right. And then once you hear somebody talk about it, you go, oh, I'm going through that right now.
It clicks.
It clicks for you. Go, oh, it's okay. It's okay to feel like that's happening to me. It's happening to millions of other people.
Literally millions of other
Literally
people.
Millions of people every single day. And like you said, you say, oh, it sometimes feels like because you are successful and you have great things in your life that you're not allowed to deal with it. And people say that about celebrities all the time, right? They go, oh, this person, oh, the Kardashians are complaining about this. They're complaining about that. And it's like, you know, they like, as silly as it sounds, like they are people too, and like people have feelings deep inside.
Yes, and just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that they're
immune to
they're human beings.
Things, right?
Yeah, totally. And then you'd like in that spot for me, it was like great school, great friends. Why am I feeling like I shouldn't feel this way, but I do?
Yep.
And that's like you tell yourself that like something's wrong. Like you're like, how do I? Something must be wrong with me. Like,
why I have everything going for me. It's this weird, it is that I should be, it's the should and shouldn't and the could and couldn't.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't feel this way. I have it all laid out. Like I was the same thing. I got great grades at school. I'm in this, it was USC.
Yeah.
I mean, half the people on here, I feel like went to, it is the weirdest bubble of a university, let me tell you.
Well, you know, a lot of them hit it big after.
Yeah, well, it helps when a lot of people have a lot of connections already going. Not that it's bad to be an Nepo kid or a Nepo baby, whatever. It's all good. It's all what you
LA
build.
World.
That's LA, totally. And that's the epitome of it. But yeah, I mean, I had everything going for me. And I also had this pressure that I would put on myself where I was like, my parents have done so much and people have made sacrifices for me to be here, and I want to make sure that I'm not letting them down. But in the effort to not let other people down, I was totally denying myself. And I was just falling apart at the seams. Like I would walk through the world and I was like, I just felt so numb.
Yeah.
I could put on the face. I mean, I was cheerleading. Like, I was literally bopping around. Like I was the happiest.
You have to smile all the time.
Yeah, you literally have to. And I loved it. And it was a weird thing because when I was cheering or when I was in class or doing things that I had to perform, I loved performing because it was the one place I didn't have to feel how I really felt.
Yeah.
But I realized I was performing my entire life.
I think that's something the older generation has had to be more open to talking about, because I know like when you have older either parents, grandparents, and whoever, they'd be like, but she looks so like they're like, but I just spoke to her and everything was fine, and then they feel like they get sometimes almost get mad because they're like, well, then was she lying to me?
Yeah, like she was hiding this from us.
Hiding this?
Like how could
not
she have
on
done
purpose.
That? Yeah, no, it's like and if I told
not
you,
on purpose.
And also like I didn't even know that was what was happening with me, but now I realize that's what
I can look
happening.
back, especially when you're in that place mentally, like. It's very hard to be able to trust your intuition versus your thoughts. You don't know what's really you, what's not really you. And you start to realize, or you start to think, the way that my brain is thinking, these messages that I'm getting, that must be who I am. And once you learn, like later on, obviously, thank you, so much therapy that I've done, continue to do therapy. All my girlfriends do it too. It's great. Like all of our conversations now are like proxy conversations for our therapist. So we're always
my friends are very similar in that. Sometimes
so
like, well, my therapist said, I'm like, all right.
Well, my therapist said this. So can we have them like, let's have a little commune moment and talk about it. But yeah, you don't realize kind of how much you put up that front. And I think it is hard. And that's why like being able to talk about it. And I'm really happy with Peloton, with how many people that we reach, a lot of people's parents too, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be the one that looks like your kid, that talks about mental health. So hopefully you can realize, oh, yeah, I'm dealing with that, because it is, and it runs in families, right?
I a couple of years ago, somebody said to me, and I feel like this is a common saying now, I see it all the time, that anxiety is just conspiracy theories about yourself, where you you were mentioning that like your intuition versus like what's actually real and fake. You don't know when you were dealing with anxiety, and that's kind of saying like you're just making shit up about yourself sometimes, and you don't know what's real or not.
You're like, I don't know. I'm like is this really true? Does everyone really hate me?
Do I feel this way because it's true, or do I feel this way because I'm anxious?
Yeah, and learning to take that, and I do this in class a lot, and I learned it, I cannot take credit for it. It was Huberman, because he's brilliant.
Yes.
But it's that psychological side. So it's the 2 inhales, and then you hold your breath, and you exhale. And I always start class this way for that reason. And like even in a flat road when we're chilling or semi-chilling, the very minimal time I give people to relax, I have them do the same thing, because it brings your heart rate down and it gets yourself back into your body. Because when you're in your head, you're so up here, you're not breathing, you're not getting oxygen to your brain. When you don't get oxygen to your brain, you're not able to think clearly. It's essentially like a car on super minimal gas. It's going to start to sputter out. It's not going to, operate as well. Same thing. So getting back into your breath and getting back into your body is just kind of that like e-brake moment where you're like, wait, hold on. Now I can have the discerning moment and say, is this really me, or is this my anxiety? Or just be able to pump the brakes for a second and just take yourself out of that headspace. Because it's a really crappy place to live.
Do you feel like now that, because you said you never really imagined yourself getting fully into fitness, and now that you're fully in it, do you think that has helped with your mental health in general, now that you were learning all these, like you said, the breathing techniques and different ways to cope with it, and just learning? I feel like you're learning more and more every single day.
Totally. And I think that's where the physical movement is so important for me. I didn't realize at the time too, like I started learning how to box. I had an awesome mentor who's this film director who had a boxing gym in the West Side in California. And we met after one of my classes. I was one of those really obnoxious kids. It's like, hi, I want to work with you. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I was so bad. I cringed. Thank God he took pity on me and was like, his advice was great, by the way. Anyone younger, he was like, go get arrested. Go around. That was the first one. He's like, go lose all your money. Go get your heart broken. You have nothing to frickin' say. Like you have no stories to tell because you haven't lived your life. And I was like, okay. Meanwhile, went to Italy that summer, got my heart broken, got robbed on a tram. What else happened? Oh, I couldn't get arrested because I made friends. Well, I made friends with the cops. They're Italian cops. No, I mean, we would all have drinks and Campo Fiore.
Episode about this trip.
That was a life-changing, incredible trip. But that's kind of where the depression really started for me, and I didn't even realize it at the time. But I went back, started working with him, and then he was like, "You're a lot." Yeah, he's like, you need to get it out somewhere. So I would go to the boxing gym, and he covered my training. I think he took pity and knew that I had a lot going on, and that helped me so much. And that's what started the fitness journey. Really, was learning how to box, because the one place that I couldn't be in my head was when I was throwing a punch, or getting hit. Because let me tell you, it's one thing to throw a punch; it's a whole other thing when someone is coming at you. But it's such a metaphor for like my anxiety, like not wasting your energy until your opponent's on you. Like not draining that. It's the same thing. Don't think or worry about things until they're right in front of you when you actually have to deal with them. Otherwise, you're not going to be emotionally ready or have the energy to deal with it. So
that must have felt so good getting those punches out.
Oh my gosh. I still do it. I have a bag in my house. Like I have a couple, like a bad day or some annoying emails or, just whack that thing. My dog's barking like, Mom, what's wrong? Like, dude, we're good. Mommy's got to get it out. But yeah, back to what your original question was. For sure. I think going into fitness and learning something new every single day is amazing. I'm getting a certification now, learning more about mind-body connection and somatic skills and breath work and whatnot. And I want to introduce that into what I do. Yeah. I mean, really I think you can make a plan for your life. I know my life is this way. And then it just goes a totally different direction. And I'm so grateful it went the way that it went. So now I'm kind of like, I don't know, this sounds fun. Let me go do that. Then all of a sudden it turns into
There's
like
so
a new
many doors that have opened now for you, I feel like.
It's kind of overwhelming a little bit. Yeah. I'm like, what do I do next? I don't know. But
still all the good. What has the adjustment been like to, now being a little bit more in the public eye? Because that obviously has effects on one's mental health.
Yeah. It's not too, I will say a lot of the feedback on social media is usually pretty positive. Yeah. But then I feel like you get to a point, like in the beginning, you're like, everyone's so nice to me. Yay.
Like,
I'm sure you guys felt that everyone loves me. Yay.
Oh my God, yes.
And then you reach this point And I had a dear friend of mine who works in PR. And then there was a lot of like hate or people just hating on something random.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of hurting my feelings. Like, what do I do? And she goes, congrats. Like, this is how you know you're evolving and you're making an impact in the world, is when people want to start knocking you down when you go through it. And so it's been different. I don't think so much self-esteem anymore. I know I like who I am. I've done a lot of that self-work. Again, therapy, a lot of like exploration in that. Maybe turning 30, that's been great too. Yeah. Something shifted. They say that it happens. It really does. I was like, oh, okay, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I'm like, let's just roll.
Somebody just,
it was Gwyneth
Paltrow.
Paltrow.
I was going to say, Gwyneth Paltrow said it on Call Her Daddy. She was like, she's like, it happened at other ages, but she was like, when I turned 40. She said 40. She was like, I didn't give a fuck about anything.
You're like, whatever.
I just came into myself completely.
Yeah. It's like take it or leave it for what it is. Yeah, of course, there's still things I'm working on with myself. I think the hardest thing now, no lie, is probably dating.
I was going to ask
dating
that, but I didn't want to
wild.
bring it up and feel like invasive.
Fine.
But I was going to ask, like, are people sliding into your DMs? I'm sure they are because they're interested.
I cannot say the name, but I had the most hilarious DM slide of my life a couple months ago. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. And I sent a screenshot of it to one of my girlfriends, and she's like, you better talk to him. I was like, I will talk. I'm not touching that with the 10-foot pole, but let's see like where this goes. It was
You're saying it's funny.
Did you go on a date with that person?
I almost did. He tried to, I was in a different place and he was also there, and he was trying to get me to come out to dinner, and I was like, believe it or not, I was having dinner with one of my exes who's actually a really good friend.
Okay.
Like, he was my ex that got me through my mental health journey. He was going through his mental health stuff.
Yeah.
We're best of friends. And I was like, sorry, I'm going out to dinner with my favorite ex. And he was like, oh my gosh, I love that so much. I was like, yeah, sure you do, whatever.
Can we get like a genre?
I will give it away. I'm like getting mortified right now.
Really?
Oh my God. Okay,
Right,
then you don't have to.
I will totally. I will
talk about it after, and then we'll not tell anybody else.
You after.
No, that's so funny.
Sorry, everybody listening.
I know. I feel almost terrible, but not because I
want to
cannot.
make a
I
guess,
cannot.
but I won't do it now. I'll
Yeah,
wait till
because I
after.
will make a face because I have no poker face. So don't.
Okay, we will.
There's Dobby.
I won't.
behind him.
But like, do your friends try and like set you up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of, I think the harder part now is like, I have a really weird life.
Yeah.
Like, someone's got to be good with it. I had a relationship that I was pretty public about. I guess it's almost 2 years ago now. And unfortunately, like, he was a great, lovely, normal guy. We met in the coolest of ways. I was on a surf trip in El Salvador. I literally cliff jumped into like off this waterfall. I sound really cool. I'm really not.
No,
that cool.
You are the coolest person.
So far, we've got like a life-changing trip to Italy. We're cliff jumping.
Vacations
in El
are good.
Salvador.
Yeah.
She cliff jumped into this guy's arms. In
pretty
the water.
much. No lie. No lie.
Quite the meet cute.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, this is meant to be. I'm like, this is a movie. Let's go.
Yeah.
Really lovely. It was the person I dated during pandemic, and we built a cabin together. But he kept it, obviously, because I didn't get my name on the deed.
You're so not cool at all.
No, I'm good with power tools
You
now,
built
though.
the cabin and then you didn't put your name on the deed.
No, and so he literally, I built this man a cabin with him. Like, every weekend we were building this thing. It is beautiful.
Well, you know what? If he still lives there, like...
No, and you know what? His family is close by there, and I love his family. And no harm to him. Like, we just weren't meant to be. And
but it's also, I'm like, no matter how close or not close you are post, like,
there's a
breakup,
cabin that has my name all over it.
Like, yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah.
You look at those walls have your stories.
I secretly put my initials. I think maybe okay, fun story actually. I put my initials in concrete in the basement. We put all the concrete down. Don't ever do anything with concrete. It's the worst freaking thing on the planet. I feel like I still have it on my hands. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
But like, I put my initials in something. I think I want to like mark my territory somehow. Like, I did this.
Yeah.
I think I knew.
That should have some kind of legal bind, you know?
Right?
Like, if you're like, excuse me,
I built a cabin with you. Do I have like a percentage?
Yeah, like my initials are on the concrete.
God,
Doesn't
like
does that count?
We took it down to the studs.
So you guys spent this whole year and built a cabin.
And then we broke up right after it was done. I'm not kidding you. It was like, oh no. You want the best breakup story ever.
It was like,
I had a meeting with my team with this designer who I love, who I think she still hates me, and I don't blame her. We had this meeting. We're going to some event in the city after that. We had this great dinner wrapping up the year. My mom got into town early because I had so much going on. And then my parents, we were all going to go to the cabin. Like, my parents, his parents, we've all gone on vacation before. Like, I really thought this was my dude. Mm-hmm. And we're going after this great design meeting, and we're going to this other event, and I had to take a rapid COVID test. I had a sniffle for a while. Y'all, I had COVID. No. So I'm sitting next to the two people I work with in the middle of the back of an Uber, and I'm like, we have to get out. It's like 3 days before Thanksgiving. I think I gave someone on this designer's team COVID. So we've never talked again. So I don't think I feel really bad. I did not know.
It's
I
okay.
promise. Yeah, it was.
They
it
were
was
going
like
to catch
a high
it from
time.
somebody else.
Well, especially it was wildfire
And
at that
that
point in the
was
city.
like, it's always right in the city. It was so bad right before every holiday.
Oh,
Like, it
exactly.
was-
I think everybody missed Thanksgiving or Christmas that year. That was the bad
year,
one.
everyone.
They would have
yes.
caught it from somebody.
I know, it wasn't me.
My whole family
No.
missed
I mean, it was,
Christmas
but-
that year. I
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like
you know the year, yeah.
Oh,
Because that was when
mine
it
did
went
too,
around.
actually. I'm the
Because
only
we
one in
all
my
thought
family
we were
that
didn't have it.
We all thought we were like kind of back and like
Yeah.
feeling good, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was like, oh, Christmas is ruined
Right.
for
And
like
then it's like
everyone.
everyone falls like dominoes. It's
Every
so
single
bad.
one in my family got it, and I was like, I'm having the best New Year's Eve of my life this year. None of you go near me, and I stayed away from everybody, and I made it through.
There you go.
So
You're like, I love you, but not enough to
No.
ruin my New Year's.
Yep.
Bye.
Nope.
It's not happening. But yeah, so came back from getting I got the confirmation of the COVID test. I was like, oh damn, I'm going to give it to my mom. She is fine. She's like, whatever. She's at my apartment organizing my kitchen, drinking a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Susie's an icon. Yeah. I love her. She's amazing. And on the way back, I told my boyfriend at the time, cabin guy, bless his heart, cabin guy. And we just got into an argument, and then that was it. And we were done.
you broke up because you got COVID.
It was I don't want to air any laundry. There was a culmination of things. It was going on. We were kind of, when things start to fade out
This
for a
is
while.
like last straw.
But yeah, and I think we just got to this place where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm out of it. I'm done.
You broke up with him.
Yeah. Well, we were both kind of going back and forth, and I think he thought, oh, we'll talk again tomorrow. I will tell you, when I am
When
done,
you're done, that's it.
like we don't talk again.
Yeah.
Nope.
I love
I'm
that.
pretty cold that
Unless
way.
you're friends.
Honestly, I
Unless
love
we're
that.
friends. But we had a big falling out kind of argument.
Okay.
I've learned, I will say, I'm proud of myself. I have ended relationships significantly better after each one, right?
Growth.
I really love to like give somebody like the diatribe of all of their wrongdoings and what they need to do to fix their life.
Yeah.
I would like Oprah them at the end of a relationship, and I was like, that's not the way to go anymore.
Yeah.
No. We're gonna
So
we're
here
just
are
gonna
all
let
the
go with
reasons
peace.
why I'm out.
Yeah. You're just gonna end in
Here's
walk
all
away
the
now.
reasons why you're terrible, but I really appreciated what we had.
Yeah.
Fix yourself. Like
Yeah.
that was very much lovingly signed, Kendall.
Yeah.
Like, and but yeah, so that was kind of that was it.
Yeah.
And so within 3 hours, I got gave a designer COVID,
Oh no.
ruined a deal, and broke
broke
up
up.
with my boyfriend.
But this is what your professor was saying to you when he said you needed to live.
Oh yeah. Oh. I've lived.
You live now.
We have. I'm like, I can live a little less. I think.
Yeah.
You know,
Do
just
you
chill.
have a type of person now that you are looking to date? Like,
Do you
qualities.
you have somebody in mind?
Listen, I wish I could set you up with somebody.
No, I know. It's hard enough as it is. New York is already hard.
I also
York is
feel
hard.
like there's something about like some people like being set up and some people don't like being set up, right?
Yeah.
Because when you are being set up with somebody and they're like, and then you meet the person, you're like, this is
who you think I should be with?
you had in mind for me, and like that person may think they're great, but like you're like, what?
You're like, no, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think at this point now, word of mouth and people that really know me, yes.
Yeah.
Because if somebody kind of, I did the dating apps, and then when work kind of got bigger, then
Too hard.
it got weird, and people would be like, oh my God, the worst line, I ride you all the time. I'm
Oh.
like, come on. I'm like, no. I'm like, really?
And you're like,
Really?
no, I want to ride you.
I'm like, well, you don't have a shot now.
Yeah,
no
no,
one's
that's-
writing anything
yeah.
now. Like
That's
I-
tough. That's
no.
a tough
Yeah, I was
that's
like,
a tough line.
So I was like, I'm getting,
Oh God.
I was like, why did they? Why do they think
that's
that
gonna
would work?
work?
I
And
know.
you know that they're
I
like
know.
typing that out, laughing to themselves, being
They're
like,
like,
"This
I'm
one
so
is
They're
smart.
like,
like,
oh,
this
she's
is a
gonna
good
love
one.
this one.
Oh,
This is a good one.
She's never heard this one before in her life.
God,
I was
that's
like,
brutal.
Come on. Yeah, I think it's more somebody at this point. I mean, first off, I'm truly probably in the first time, like, not that I was ever not happy by myself, but I think I always, as a girl, especially in your 20s, there's a validation you get from relationships. And there's this feeling of, I got chosen, I was picked, and that always feels good. But at this point, I'm kind of like, unless somebody can really kind of match my drive and my focus and what they want to do, and they want to do something good in the world and they're passionate about it and they have, close to family, have a good heart, all those important things. But unless you're going to really add that kind of value and we can both kind of conquer our worlds together, but not have to be too intertwined. Like I don't want him to get his validation from me, and I don't want me to get my validation from him.
You just want him to add to your life.
Yep.
Not like complete it.
Not complete it. Yeah. I know, I'm complete. Like the whole
totally.
"you complete me" thing was a total lie. I think that was the most dangerous line in any rom-com. I'm like, no, you complete you, damn it. No man does. No woman does. Like, nah.
Yes.
It'll happen naturally.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what everyone always said. You know what I mean?
Well, let me guess. It'll happen when I least expect it.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
No, but
Another
it's true. It's
another
true.
rom-com.
All the
I know.
cliches.
But yeah, but I think it's good also to be in a place where you're like, you're not actively searching for it. You're just kind of like, let me live my life. Let me do my thing. It's about to be summer. I'm going to be on a beach 90% of the time if I can help it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You travel a lot too, right?
I like to. Well, clearly. I mean, I sound really adventurous. Like Italy, El Salvador. Oh
you
my
are
gosh,
adventurous. You don't sound it. You are.
I love to go, yes. But, I got to do my job. So I got to teach people in New York and do that stuff.
That too. So what else do you have going on? We're going to wrap up. But just tell the people.
Yeah, we'll do a little
tell the
plug.
people the Kendall spiel.
The spiel.
Yeah.
I love that word. I'm not even Jewish. I love that word. I think moving to New York, Michael, give me all of it. I love the Yiddish. Let's go. So I'm working with Spiritual Gangster. Love that brand. Yeah, they're awesome.
Great brand.
Yeah, great stuff. I will make sure you guys are on the little list now. I was like, you got to get the goodies.
Put us on the list.
I'll put it on all the lists.
Put any list
I
you
feel
got.
like I have
we are not on many lists.
You want to get on my list?
Listen, I want to be on your list. We're not on many lists.
We are not on enough lists.
I cannot believe that at all.
No, we're not. We're not on enough lists.
No, we're not.
I feel like y'all should have been. Did you guys go to F1?
No.
No, we're not
on this stuff.
We're not on any list. Nobody invites us anywhere.
People don't invite us to things. We don't get put on any lists.
Bull.
Yeah, we just sit here and talk.
Yeah, we just yap away. We're just the two yappers that nobody cares about.
You're like, just stick them in that room. We don't want to deal with them.
Just stick them in there. They'll talk.
They'll talk and make
We're like two puppets.
Oh my God. But Spiritual Gangster is a great brand.
Yes, they're a great brand. I've collabed with them last year. We did this awesome design collection. Really, really proud of it. I love fitness wear, obviously. Yeah. I mean, I'm shocked.
Very cute outfit.
Thank you, but this is still kind of fitnessy. It's an Amazon tank top.
Yes. You know what I saw recently was a TikTok of a girl who said, which was so true, and this is like our generation of when we were going out or like the classic friend text of what are you wearing tonight was, jeans and a Q top or jeans and a going out top. That was like always like jeans and a going out top. And now she was like, I think the Gen Z version of that
is flip it.
Is like a white shirt and fun pants, or like a
tank top and fun pants.
Yes, that is so true.
Literally came in, I was like, she's in a tank top and fun pants.
Yeah,
tank top,
I have
one of my
14
favorite
of these. It's my favorite thing.
I
and
love
then
just a plain tank top. Just always hits, and then add cool skirt, pants.
Yeah, and they can add the layers and the accessories.
Exactly.
Totally.
It was really cracking me up. I was like, wow, that is the new version of jeans and a going out top is like a tank top and fun pants.
Yeah,
I love it.
You're like, we've just flipped it. Yeah. Yep. So, Spiritual Gangster.
Yes.
We'll get that. I love this. I'm
the
same way. I'm so tangential.
So many different directions.
We always get back to the trunk of the tree. We're good.
Yep.
So we did a collaboration for Mental Health Awareness Month. It's our second time doing it.
Awesome.
Really cool shirts. They're called, they say never knocked out, which is like a version of the phrase that my dad, it's kind of like a family motto that got me through my darkest times that I close out class with. And a portion of the proceeds goes to AFSP, the American Federation on Suicide Prevention. So we're really about giving back, and there are these great t-shirts and hats and really cute, simple stuff. And then there also will be a lot more fun design drops coming in the future.
Very cool.
So again, the list has to happen.
Yes, that is very cool. Now, where can people buy that?
Buy the shirts. So they can get it on spiritualgangster.com.
Great.
Yep.
And obviously follow Kendall everywhere on Instagram.
There we go. On all
and
the
take
fun
your classes.
And make sure you're cycling with Kendall.
Riding. Riding.
Not riding Kendall.
Riding Kendall, but riding with Kendall.
Riding with me.
Yes.
The with is operative, friends. I'll do it with you.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. This is so much fun.